Hi, and welcome to the demonstration video for Udutu Learning Management System. My name is Andrea Dixon, and I am the Acting Training Specialist for BC Timber Sales, and I am part of the project team that is working to implement Land Resource Manager for our program. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the learning management system that we're using for our training materials for that implementation. So I'm just going to log on here. It's a web-based system, which is really nice because you can access it basically anywhere you have an internet connection. So I've logged on now, and this is the home page. It's totally customizable. You see here we've got our logo and some messaging, so you can put information up here, whatever you'd like your staff to see when they first log on to sort of just introduce them to the system. Along the side here, there's some different menu options. There's more menu options here than your average staff member will see because I'm an administrator. And so I'm just going to go into my training, which is a little bit more of what they would see when they first start. So the first thing that your staff are going to see is learning paths. And we've just grouped different training modules together under different learning paths so that we can assign specific learning to specific users. You'll see here that there's different colors. So the basics here, I've passed all my basics and it's grayed out now. We actually set up the basics as a prerequisite, so before anybody could access any of their other learning modules, they needed to learn the basic orientation and navigation for Land Resource Manager. Aside from that, there's some GIS basics and administration, and then we've broken them down into sort of more functional operational groupings, so blocks, contracts, GIS. Roads and silviculture. And as I said, there's some different colors here, so green in progress, and then the blue here means that there's new content available in that learning path. So I'm just going to click on one of these learning paths to show you sort of what the staff would see. We're going to click on contracts just to take a look. And again, you're going to see this color coding, right? So the blue for new content available, and the gray to let me know that I have completed this particular training module. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click into this training module. So I've passed this training module, and I can launch this activity, and it'll take me to the end of it. Or what I can do is I can restart it. So I'm just going to restart this here, and it will reset it and take me back to the beginning. And this was one of the features that we quite liked to give staff the ability to come in, refresh themselves, take a module multiple times if they want to, or if the module was in progress, then they could just pick up where they left off. And all of this is done, so once somebody's assigned to a classroom, once somebody's assigned to a learning module, they don't need any permissions, right? So we don't need to ask for access. We can just go in here and access the training when we want, which is a great thing for staff to be able to do. So this is an example of one of the training modules. All of the training modules go through a consistent format. We wanted to make sure that there was that consistency throughout so people knew what to expect, and it was just sort of part of a routine that we could get comfortable with as we work through this learning. Excuse me. So the first slide here is the title page. It talks about how long the training session is going to take and the title of the training or the training module. You can progress here and go to the next slide. This talks about the expected learning outcome for the staff, so what the staff member would be walking away with at the end of this training module. The next piece is just a note saying that the next slide that they're going to see is the written documentation of the process. This allows people to save it or print it. People can make notes or use it to refer back to. So that was quite a nice feature, right? It just sort of goes through each step. After that, there is a before you start, which is prerequisite. So what you need to do before you complete this workflow. The following slide is the business rule. And it's just letting people know if there's anything that's enforced by the application, right? So any boundaries or any rules that they need to make sure that they're observing or adhering to. After that, it's just a summary of the major steps that people will work through within this particular workflow or business process, and that they're going to see in the next video, or in the next slide, which is video, pardon me. So when we go to the video, there's a few different features here, right? We can play and pause. You can adjust the quality and the speed, the volume, and you can maximize it so this takes up your full computer screen. And the videos, all the videos were made like I'm making this video today using the link tool, and they were made by our task team members. that was a decision that was made to help engage the task team members and make sure that they were comfortable and sort of to help enhance their learning. And also, as you know, training materials can become quite stale quite quickly, and so this way it was an inexpensive way to create these videos so that they're basically, we refer to them as disposable. You can recreate one very quickly. There's no special software, and the cost is very low, so we can update these things as the system changes, as patches happen, etc., to make sure that they're fresh and accurate and reflective of what the learner would see. Okay, and the next couple slides are just a recap of what was in the video, and then just some slides letting them know that they can practice, and just a slide that says thank you and you've completed the module. So once you get to the end of the slides, that's it, and if you close this, it would be marked as passed, as a completed course. There's also a course map, so if you were to come back in here, your staff members could pick the particular place they wanted to go. If they wanted to go right to that PDF, that written document, they could. If they wanted to just go straight to the video and watch the video again, they could also do that. Okay, so I'm just going to close this now. And now we can see that it's passed. Okay, so those are a couple things that I wanted to show you for what your staff would see when they're working through their learning paths and their training modules. For the administrator, there's user management, so you can bring in individual users, and you can also bulk import users. One of the keys, or one of the big important pieces for us, was the ability to have our contractors access the training materials. In the government training system, the mind learning that you go through, we can't bring contractors in. So by using the system, we can have our contractors access and work through these materials as well. That was a really important piece for us. There's also category management. As I said, we have these learning paths. We can assign people to classrooms that are linked to the learning path so that they are only seeing the training that is relevant to them. And then, of course, there's an administration tab here, and one of the nice pieces is there's reports. So you have the ability to go in, you can look up an individual user, you can look up an individual training module or a learning path, and you can pull reports, and you can actually export them into a couple different formats so that you can do some tracking and monitoring of the progress and how if staff are completing their training or not. So I think that's about it. If you have any more questions or you want to learn more, please let me know. I'm happy to connect with anybody and talk about Udutu. And thank you very much.